service plan?
A service plan is a piece of paper. It's a couple pages, and it talks about what your likes are, what your dislikes are, what are your goals or dreams. And so this document is used to help you to plan your future, your upcoming year. And so that's done every year, and everyone on your team, including you, is a part of creating that document.
Yeah, so I think,
And
I
then,
don't know if we don't really use the term staffing too much anymore, or do we?
no, we don't. It's an annual meeting.
Right. And
Yeah.
does this come out of that annual meeting? Is this inspired by that annual meeting? Is this tweaked by that annual meeting?
So the annual meeting would be a place where you certainly talk about all of those things, but the plan is created around that time. And it is, if anyone here is familiar with your personal plan that your CAU worker is doing, it's the second piece of that.
Okay. So so this is something the alternative
Alternative.
the alternative service plan. So this is kind of something that's kind of new. Like this is a right? Like
It's like within the last year or so. Yeah,
have any been made so far?
they have.
Okay. All right. So if you don't have one, you can have one. If you do have one, you know what we're talking about, but you can help us build more. I'm still feel like I'm talking so vague
Yeah.
that it's hard to land. So what is an alternative service plan? Go.
Okay. An alternative service plan is a way of showing people the things that you have in that annual plan that we were just talking about. So it could be you talking on a tape, an audio tape, or a videotape like this, where you're telling people how you like to communicate, what doctors you don't like to see, what food you like to eat, what you want to cook, where you want to go on vacation. And so the format of how we're showing people that plan can be your choice. It can be a glitter book, it can be bedazzled, it can be done with a marker and, pens. And it's something that people, your therapist, will help you to create.
So what I'm hearing is that when up until now or up until a couple of years ago, all of you guys have your like desires, your hopes, your preferences, your dislikes and all that. They were all just on this paper, and it kind of looked like, it just like this. Like you were like you'd have to kind of look through here and read other people's, you'd have to be like, "Oh, this person prefers a male doctor." But like, right? So, and
Yeah.
it was up to a caregiver to kind of look through the papers to see if they did what you liked. And it sounds to me like the alternative plan is the these guys saying what they want in their own voice, in their own way, in their own creative hoobie-doo, right?
Yeah. And if they want to use that plan to present in their annual meeting to the people who are there, they can.
Yeah. So instead of, like in the past, like we have this, your annual meeting, and I'm just reading from this thing. Instead, you guys sit at the table and say, "I'd like to show you a video that I've made to tell you a little bit more about who I am." Is that if they choose,
Yes.
right? Now, are there limits to what, like somebody might want to bedazzle a thing, somebody might want to, do a PowerPoint,
Hmm.
right? That's the
Yeah.
alternative part. It's
Right.
not the old days of I typed up your plan.
Yeah.
It's your voices telling the team what you hope and dream for in your own language, in your own way. Am I getting it?
That's correct.
Cool. Can I, and you said that we have had a couple of these are out there. I
Yep.
want to invite, maybe, our therapist into the conversation just to, add or tell us, there any experience you guys have had in creating or helping create an alternative plan. Do you guys, I mean, Mercedes, do you guys have anything to add like about this? You can unmute, yeah, just unmute yourself. Hey,
Um, I did a couple, we've been doing a couple here and there because we're still trying to tweak how to get them out there and how to make sure that it's accessible to everyone. I've done a couple where we've made a collage of pictures that we found on like Google of their favorite things, their favorite places, and pictures of themselves that we can, and we make the collage online on a thing that I like to call Canva. I've also done a interview like where I've set up a camera in front of us and I just ask questions. It's kind of like they're on TV when they're doing a little, segment on the news. And then we've also done PowerPoints too. And then I also know that Felice and Beth Ann have done like photo albums too for individuals. And what's really great is that all of these ideas, they're or all of these like formats too, they come from you guys. You guys get to choose how you want to present these things.
so I'm hearing this and I always go back to like haircuts. Like
Mhm.
so let's say you've got 10 pictures of hairdos, and then you're like, you know what? I want frosted tips. I want Ryan Seacrest circa 2001. I want that. It's hard to explain that. So if I cut it out and pasted it, it'd be
Mhm.
right there. Frosted
Exactly.
tips. So
Exactly.
there's no ignoring it. You can't get around it. And it's specific. And anybody, unless you are visually impaired, anybody can point to what they want. We cut it out, we put it on a paper, and you go, I want this.
I have
Take
a
your staff.
collage where someone really likes to, they like to do art. So we put a lot of different art modalities on their collage. So they like to do painting, they like to color, they like anything that they want their team to know, it's on that collage.
Before we go, go
Similar to annual enrollment for the MSAP group,
correct.
this is offered annually to everyone who lives at Search.
The alternative service plan is offered annually. Oh, that's okay. That's good to know, you guys. Did you hear that? This is an annual thing. Is there an enrollment month, you guys?
It's based on what their annual plan date is.
So my plan, let's say my annual meeting plan day, whatever, that day is in October. Do I start earlier and present, like do I like start it in like August so I can have it ready by October? Is that, you start it before
Yeah.
your meeting, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. But do you guys hear that? So it's, you have that one window of time where you create it. And then I imagine because like, CQL is all about how, you can change in a year. So you probably revisit it the next year if you're like, you know what, I don't want frosted tips anymore. I don't.
It
Now
is a living document, as we like to say. So whenever something change, like if your preferences or your likes or dislikes change, then that document can change too. So whenever you meet with your therapist, you can bring it up too and say like, hey, I know that I said that I wanted to get a job at, let's say, Walmart. Well, I don't like Walmart anymore. I want to get a job at McDonald's or something like that. And then we can change it.
Alternative service plan. It wouldn't stick in my head. It sounds very sterile and like, state and like techno. And Jackie thought, hey, who is super good at being creative about naming things? I mean, who named self advocates for search? The self advocates did. Who named our voices newsletter that we used to do? That was you guys. So Jackie said, hey, what if we opened up the floor to give you guys an opportunity to name that document? So instead of alternative service plan, no, maybe they could come up with a really cool name.